Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video. With all of these PlayStation games coming to PC, people and PC owners have made it aware what games they want to see on PC. I've talked about it before, but it seems like the majority of people and the games I keep seeing people want: God of War, Spider-Man, Ghost of Tsushima, Bloodborne. That's off the top of my head, but those are the four that I see more than any other game, seemingly, and trust me, I'd love to see those games on PC as well. But in this video, I want to point your attention to another game that I feel like should be on PC, and maybe I'll do a couple of videos taking a look at some of these under the radar games I'd like to see come from PlayStation to PC. This one, I want to hyper-focus on Gravity Rush 2. Yes, Gravity Rush 2. I have not seen a lot of people mention Gravity Rush 2. Oh, I want to see Gravity Rush 2 on PC. I have not seen much of that. Now, this is a game from Sony Japan Studio that unfortunately went pretty under the radar. The first Gravity Rush was released on the PlayStation Vita, so obviously, being a PlayStation Vita exclusive at the time, not a lot of people had a Vita. I had a Vita and I really enjoyed it. But let's call a spade a spade. Not a lot of people had a PlayStation Vita, and I understand why. I mean, when you had like $30 4GB memory cards, yeah, not a lot of people were jumping out of their seats to buy a Vita. They ultimately did port the game to the PlayStation 4, and they ultimately did make a follow-up to the first Gravity Rush game in Gravity Rush 2. Unfortunately, the games just didn't do that well from a commercial standpoint to really justify the continuation of a series, but it still has a large cult following of people that love the games, and the games are tremendous. They have a great art style. I remember the first time I played Gravity Rush, I was really absorbed by the art style of the game. It just has a really cool watercolor look, and that was parlayed into Gravity Rush 2, and it looks even better in that game. It has a great main character, and it has a pretty interesting world as well. Gravity Rush 2 opens up the game a little bit more, and Gravity Rush 2 is much better, but at the end of the day, the games just did not do that well from a commercial standpoint, and that happens. Sometimes the games that are even high quality, they just don't do well from a sales standpoint, but I offer you guys this: I do believe that the game would be highlighted on PC. Now, obviously, I understand from the Sony standpoint, they want to port the games that can generate the most amount of revenue. Look at the games they picked. Horizon, Days Gone, not so much, but it still sold pretty well, but Days Gone is still a notable title, and now they're going to, arguably the biggest franchise they have in Uncharted. So obviously, in the case of Horizon, that sold really well. I'm sure Uncharted's going to sell really well as well. Gravity Rush 2, I don't know if that's at the front of their mind, but at the same time, you don't even need to make these games the most exciting PC ports in the world. Like, literally, all we're asking is that these games work, they run well, and, you know, the performance is on point. It has an unlocked frame rate, it doesn't crash. We're not asking for the craziest, you know, port that we've ever seen. We're just asking for a game like Gravity Rush 2. All I would ask is for the game to be appropriately priced and run really well, and, you know, it doesn't have to have the craziest amount of bells and whistles, as long as it's priced accordingly, because that's a game I don't think you can get away with a $50 price tag. If it's priced at like $30, I think PC gamers would come out and they would actually buy the game and support it, because I always look back to some of these games that just randomly saw releases on PC out of nowhere, and they sold really well. I offer to you guys a Valkyria Chronicles by Sega. That game came out of nowhere on PC in like 2014, 6 years after its release, sold really well, and now we have Valkyria Chronicles 4 on PC as well. I'm not saying that the PC release of Valkyria Chronicles was what did it, but hey, the PC release of Valkyria Chronicles happened, then we got a remaster on PS4, and then we got Valkyria Chronicles 4 as well. Maybe it had something to do with it. Maybe the success of that game gave Sega the pushback they needed to realize, okay, the West, there's a demand for Valkyria Chronicles, and they made it. I don't know, but all I know is Valkyria Chronicles did well over here. A game like Persona 4 Golden sold incredibly well on PC. I know Persona does have a larger appeal than, let's say, Gravity Rush, but Persona 4 did very, very well. Game worked as a PC port, sold at $20, and they did way far past their expectations. I don't think it would take an absurd amount of resources to get a game like Gravity Rush 2 on PC, expose it to a wider audience at a, you know, great price point, and maybe that would give Sony a little bit of a pushback to realize that there is still a demand for Gravity Rush, or at the very least, it would create newer fans of that franchise, and then we could, you know, potentially see a Gravity Rush 3 because more fans of that franchise have been created. It's just something I offer to you guys. Yes, we all know Bloodborne's gonna sell incredibly well if it comes to PC. Ghost of Tsushima, gonna sell incredibly incredibly well. Sorry if you guys hear an ice cream truck outside, because literally they're pulling up by my house right now, so my apologies on that. However, back on topic, Gravity Rush is a franchise that I think wouldn't take away anything from PlayStation. Like, it's a franchise that people don't even really talk about on PlayStation anymore as one of these great IPs that it has. On PC, it can find a newer audience. It can sell some copies. It would probably do really well if it's priced accordingly at like $30, $25 to $30. It'll sell really well. I guarantee you that, as long as it works. And hell, Horizon Zero Dawn didn't even work initially, and that sold really well, so yeah, take that for what you will. But I'm sure if it was priced accordingly, Gravity Rush would sell. And for me, you know, this is just one way I would hope to eventually will the existence of Gravity Rush 3 into the world, but who knows if that's going to happen. But I do want more people to be given the opportunity to experience Gravity Rush and Gravity Rush 2, because I think they're tremendous games. That's just my 2 cents. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Now, I know a lot of you guys that especially only play on PC have no idea what Gravity Rush is. If you have a PlayStation 4, I highly recommend you to check out Gravity Rush 1 and 2. They're great games, go on sale all the time for sub $10, so go check those out. And if you let me know what games you guys want to see on PlayStation. Maybe you guys will, you know, get something in my head. Like, I want to see games like Infamous Second Son on PC as well. Just some off-the-wall games that I don't see being asked for a lot. I'm not really in the market of, you know, being like, okay, bring this PS3 game to PC, just because I don't even know what Sony's doing with PC or PS3 and if they even want to preserve those games, so take that for what you will. But that's going to wrap up this one. If you guys have a request for a future video, let me know in the comment section down below, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.